Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie deal level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production respectfully brings to you the 150th episode of the Four Tales podcast.
Big 150. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you for interrupting me. I appreciate it.
My bad.
Yeah, you just messed up my entire flow. Bro, I was
you should have expected it. Go ahead.
I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way, this way, is the Violacious See, this is what happens when you mess up my phone. The Violacious Versifier of Ace Blade Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning Blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on the Age of Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, it looks like. I'm just verifying right now, honestly, because I think some things are not working. But not Instagram. Please, Instagram did not go through. We'll figure that out. But definitely Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews, interactions help us reach a bigger audience. What the hell is a Seribot?
I don't know, but
it's annoying me.
Thanks, Seribot. We appreciate you. Right. Man, 150 episodes, man.
Wild.
That's crazy, right?
That's wild.
And I've been around for like 140 of them.
Probably less than that, honestly.
It might be like 130, 135. I don't know.
Are we counting the ones where you were the guest, though?
No, definitely count those. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
All right. Yeah, that's wild. It did rank up really fast when we started going to every week instead of every other week, like I originally had wanted. But
like we both had originally wanted, but people wanted to come on the show, and there are people who want to talk about comic books. So, I think it's great, man. As long as
what's going on in your background? Are you doing construction?
My daughter is putting the dogs away in the garage, and she knocked over I heard her knock over the drumsticks off the drum set. So,
all right. All right, man. HWP is in the chat. Thank you for the congratulations on 150 episodes. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know we're a little late, and we do have an amazing guest coming up, but anything you maybe want to tell the people that's happening right now for you? Anything you want to go over, discuss?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to everybody for supporting the Ace Blade Kickstarter. We did get successfully funded this week, but we have 6 days left, and we announced the stretch goals. One of the stretch goals, which is an Ace Blade pen. I need to put that on the page. But we got an Ace Blade pen, and if we get to 250 backers, we are going to give everybody a pen for free. But we added it also to the reward tiers. So thank y'all for checking us out. Oh, down to 5 days now. It said 6 days earlier.
You're right.
Across the 4 p.m. When I crossed 4 p.m., it went down to 5. So 5 days left. So we appreciate y'all. We appreciate you. And I appreciate you, Kyron, because you have been posting just as much as I have and doing the thing and sending emails and like super being a hype man. And I appreciate it.
All right. Well, you know what? I appreciate Brian J. Lambert for being in the chat. And I need to make sure that you and Brian are not in the same room, because with both of y'all putting that J in your names, it confuses me. Because I will literally, my wife would be like, "Hey, you got your podcast?" Like, yeah, me and Danny J. Quick tonight, we're going to do our podcast. I cannot say your name without saying the J. It's the same thing for Brian now.
It's on purpose. That is a marketing gimmick for me. And speaking of marketing, we have a
Mm.
master class in marketing as our guest today. Um, she has a podcast
Hmm.
with Aurora. What is it? Aurora and uh, I,
Aurora
I had
Comics
it.
Podcast.
I had it. The Aurora Comics podcast. She is Moon the Storyteller. She is the writer of Luna, and we have her
Wait,
on the
no, no, wait.
podcast.
Put some respect on it. Beam Award
Beam-
2024
That's
winner.
right. That's right. That's right. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
No,
Thank you
we.
for
Absolutely,
inviting me.
absolutely. I've been following you for a minute now. I love your marketing advice. I think I follow you on
Thanks.
all the platforms. Um, but most of all, the new threads. You've been blowing up on
Mm.
threads, so keep killing the
Yeah.
game. For anybody who may not know who you are, give us a quick introduction. What do you do in comics, and what are you here to talk about tonight?
I am a wife, a mom, a nurse, a creator. I'm first and foremost, I'm the creator of Luna, the Queen of Maru. It's a title from Concrete Comics. So we have issue 1 and 2, and the artist has just gotten super busy. So I sent him the script for issue 3. So we are hopefully getting started on the artwork very soon. Also, I am a co-host of a Rural Comics podcast with my pod partner, Dr. Ebony Toussaint. We talk about health, culture, and comics. And my latest project is the comic book marketing podcast and course. I'm teaching indie creatives how to market themselves, market their projects, so they can stand out and get funded and be supported and hopefully earn some part-time, maybe even full-time income from their projects. So I do a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. I know that you recently were the head marketer for the huge Black Indie crossover, the Epiphany
Mhm,
engine that both Kyron and myself were involved in.
mhm, mhm.
So shout out to that. That was a very successful campaign.
Yep.
And I know that they could not have done it. We could not have done it without your help. So
Thank
uh,
you.
shout out to you. But I think marketing is something that indies don't talk about a lot. I think it's something that we definitely need help with, and I'm glad that you are starting to help people with that. So I know that you have a different background in marketing. Do you want to tell us about your your journey as a marketer?
Yeah. So I've always loved social media. Like I think when my son was probably 1, I think Instagram was finally kind of getting its start. And I was just when I got on Instagram and then eventually Facebook, I was an Instagram girly first before I actually, was sold on Facebook. But I just loved it. I loved, the fact that we can now see our family's pictures, see our friends' pictures, and then just over the years, I've just fell in love with social media and all the good things that come from social. So I think COVID was when I made a pivot. I left. I didn't leave the bedside, but I left full time nursing to dabble in healthcare marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a nurse, I was able to help some professional healthcare professionals and organizations, and even a health tech company market their brand, market their services. Um, and I did that for about 2 years, and I after 2 years, I made $100,000 just as a part time marketer. So I liked it. I liked what I did. I liked helping people and helping them find their voice. But when AI, Chat GPT, kind of came along, I kind of I pivoted from healthcare marketing because some of my clients were now using AI,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wasn't going to compete with that. I mean, if people don't see the value in a real person marketing their stuff, I'm not gonna convince you otherwise. So but around that time, I was I think for issue 1 of Luna was coming out or about to come out. And
Mhm.
so I just started just marketing myself and marketing my book. And Luna had a very successful launch. And I continued that same pace with issue 2. And last summer, when Epiphany Engine, which is Advent Comics big crossover event with Luna and your characters, um,
Everybody.
many, and
Yeah.
it was like for over 40 creators, I think. I saw that he did have a marketing team at first, and we're not gonna talk too much about it, but when he launched, he did not have a marketing team, and I'm not quite sure what happened. So
I
I
can tell
said,
you what happened. I can tell you
No,
what
we're
happened.
not. No, we're not
Okay.
doing that.
Okay,
No.
never mind. Never mind.
Positive vibes on this show. Positive vibes. That's all we're doing right now.
Daddy said, I can tell you what happened. You can. We gonna do it. We gonna do it.
We go offline. We'll tell you offline. Yeah.
So I was
Because
like,
people
I
do
want.
listen to our show, so we don't want to.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, Kyron. You're right.
So I stepped in. I stepped in as because I actually sent him a text message and I said, hey Tony, why don't you do X, Y, and Z this first week of the launch?
Mhm.
And he was like, oh, those are really great ideas. Can you do them? So I did. And it kind of just snowballed from there. Now, I can't take all the credit, though, because we had some really amazing, I had a really great marketing team with me. And I have to give a shout out to Mr. Joseph Illage because he taught me a lot about kind of some of the behind the scenes things that you should be doing when you're campaigning. And he, of course, was our higher level marketing contact. He has contacts in the industry that go back decades because of his work with Milestone in DC.
Mhm.
So he was hustling. He's not going to take any of the credit, but without him, we probably would not have been successful either. So he taught me a lot. And then I was kind of more on the social side, making sure, I was collaborating with certain people, reaching out to people. And I think by that time, within this space, people recognize me with comics and creating good, hopefully a good story. So it helps when you've already put yourself out there as a source for all things good, when it comes to comics. So I think it was a combination of things. But with that journey, with that project, I learned a lot. And so that's why I decided to start the comic book marketing podcast. And then for those who are really serious about marketing their comic books, I have the course. So that's kind of my story. Long story, long.
Let's talk about this because most of our audience are comic book creators themselves. They want to up their game to the next level. Um, in your experience and in your knowledge, what are some of the pitfalls that creators are doing that maybe they aren't doing for their marketing side of things? Because, like Danny said, a lot of us, when we're younger, we grow up, we practice our drawing, we practice our writing skills, but none of us know how to market our books. So, what are some tips that you can maybe give to our listeners for that?
The first thing is making that mental shift and understanding that your brand isn't your comic book. Your brand is you. So I feel like, Danny, Kyron, I'm just now kind of meeting you. So, but I am very familiar with Danny's work, especially because I think
Everybody
he had
is.
a big presence on TikTok at one. I'm not on TikTok anymore, but when I was on TikTok, I'll always come across Danny's videos, and he has done a really great job creating a brand. And so when I see his face, I'm like, okay, I'm about to hear something funny. I'm about to hear something informative. I'm about to learn something. He's about to tell me a funny story, or he's about to tell me his another, what's going on in his comic book journey. That's his brand. You know, that's what and I'm pretty sure this week, Danny, you did one of those three things. But creators need to understand that their comic book is not their brand. Their comic book is them. So it's the way you show up, it's the way you laugh, it's the way you know, give commentary. It's those funny stories, whatever you want your brand to be, but it's you. And so when people begin to associate those feelings and that trust and that those good feelings they see when they see you, they start to trust you and they start to just kind of connect with you. Um, and that by extension, they will connect with your projects. And I've had people on my, you know, on the threads or send me DMs saying, "Hey, I just came across your book, but I really, you know, I really liked your video, so I'm gonna check out your book." You know, so I think that probably is the biggest thing, the biggest tip I have for creators is understanding that you are your brand and you need to show up. You need to show up and then people will show up for you.
Makes
I
sense.
I 100% agree with that. I think
And it's totally okay if you don't know who I am, because I draw most of Danny's books anyway, so that's why you don't know who I am. I'm spending too much time drawing his books.
but Kyron's
And
getting a lot better though. He's getting a lot better getting in front of the camera and he's you know getting his brand out there. I'm telling you.
I
I've
know.
seen it, man. People if they can get over that, like you said, get over that, you know, the apprehension of getting in front of the camera or
Yeah,
you know putting themselves out there. One of the things I used to tell people is that people want to invest in you before they invest in,
that's true.
you know, your comics. Like if you put yourself out there and people connect with you, then eventually they will, you know, if they're interested in the comic, they're gonna you know, but they're gonna get that from you first. They're gonna connect with you as a person and as a human first. Now, maybe eventually down the road, if you have a character that gets big like Spider-Man, they'll see Spider-Man, they'll, you know, hey, it might take over. But especially for indies, I think you have to, you know, come to the person first and connect with them. So I 100% agree with you. But I was going to ask you, what advice would you give to the creators? Because a lot of us are, you know, antisocial. Even though we have the internet and there's a barrier here between us and people, a lot of us don't want to put ourselves out there. So what advice would you give people to kind of get through that?
Um, the easiest thing is just inviting people into your element. Like, you know, there's some creators who may go to the comic book shop every week, right? Take us into that video that day, that moment that you're in the comic book shop. You know, and you don't even have to really show your face that much. But yeah, say, hey, I'm at the comic book shop. Like my friend, my pop partner, Dr. Ebony, she did a video of her going into her local comic book shop. She showed us what her weekly pull was, and I think she got like 800 something views. You know, and for that, for Instagram algorithm, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So just bring us into your element. Like you don't have to, you know, create 10 pieces of content every week. But if hey, say I'm going to the local comic book shop, let me take a picture of what I've just bought. You don't have to show your face. Or if you feel, you know, extra bold, you can maybe even interview the owner or you know, just bring people into your element, you know, and that way you won't feel as apprehensive when you are you know, sharing this side of you. And also my second tip is understand that you can control the narrative. Like you don't have to I think when people think you getting in front of the camera, you're exposing and bearing your soul. That's not true. You are sharing a part of yourself that you want people to associate with your brand and your comic books. Nobody, I'm pretty sure most people, except for the people in my life, they don't know my husband's name. They don't know my son's name. They don't know where I work. They don't know what I ate for breakfast. They don't know certain things about my life.
Yeah,
It's only
Danny.
what I've chosen.
I might be oversharing.
You do, dude.
Well, but I think, I mean, but you know, you are, you are a
Unique.
rare. You're rare. when it comes to indie, because most indies are actually introverts, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I always say to people who say, I'm an introvert, I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. You can do that. You just
Absolutely.
have to understand, but because you're not showing you're not telling people everything about you, right?
Mhm.
So, and then the third thing I would say is just pick a time every week to create the content. You
Mhm.
know, just like you have to go to work, you have to create content if you want for your stuff to be out there. Um, it we have it's so many indie creators out here, and in order to and we only our budgets are only so big.
Mhm.
So if you have 10 Kickstarters that you need to check out every month, which ones are you going to invest in? You're going to invest in the ones that you've come to trust, you've come to connect with, and you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Success doesn't come from laying in your bed. Well, maybe. Well, let me take that back, because for some people it does.
Yeah.
But
Think it does
you know what
work
I
for some
mean.
people, but yeah.
So that's my biggest. Those are some other tips. I could go on and on and on and on, but those are some of the things that a lot of people, a lot of common comments and questions I get, in the DMs is and I always say those things to them, those particular things.
Well, we're going to save most of the stuff for your podcast. We want people to check out the podcast and support you in that way. But we don't want to talk about just your marketing side of things. We do want to talk about this amazing book that you have. So
Right?
Absolutely.
give us Luna and just a quick breakdown. What is Luna?
Let me hold on. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Wait,
Hold
oh, wait.
on.
No, what? All
Hold
right.
on. I want to do it because I was just looking at this earlier.
Okay.
Luna, the queen of Maru. It is the year 10,000. Humans have migrated to other worlds. The heroes of old Earth are long gone. Still, the universe has birthed a new generation of superhumans who are known as the Energy Keepers. The Energy Keepers, along with the people of planet Joria, maintain the order, peace, and balance of all life. Our story takes place on planet Maru, the home of millions of humans united under the rulership of Queen Luna. After a visit from a stranger from the future, Queen Luna discovers that she too is an energy keeper and that she is the only one who can save her world from a threat that can destroy all that she loves. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
I really did have to cover your face because you're just doing too much for me.
Was I? Was I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's a great that
Yeah.
right there itself is just a great like intro to the story. Like a lot of people, I struggled with that for a long time. So I read the opening page, but give it to us in your own words.
So I mean that is the synopsis. Of course, it's this first volume will be 6 issues.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Issue 1 and 2 is out now. Um, but basically, it's about a queen who doesn't realize she has powers yet, and she's she's living her life in peace, and her life is interrupted by this visit from this stranger, who basically tells her, you need to marry your ex, and in order to save your world at this
The
time.
world the world
Mm.
wouldn't get saved. It would be over. It'd be
Yeah.
over for the world. It'd be over for the world. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh well.
Someone else said that too. They said that the earth will burn.
Yeah. Let it burn.
um, it is a futuristic story. It's a story that takes place, 10,000s of years into the future, um, in a different galaxy on a different planet, and it's just a celebration of the Black woman, and how when she chooses to love on something or someone, the blessings that come from that. And it's a metaphor for how I feel about Black women
Mm.
today.
Mm.
Amen.
So but yeah, check it out. Check it out. the issue 3 hopefully will be done this year.
Mhm.
Um, and this issue 3 is kind of when it's the rising climax, but issue 1 and 2 is more of an introduction and a little teaser for what's to come. But issue 3 and 4, and of course 5 and 6, will be um explosive.
Oh, okay.
So mhm.
Well, like Rose says, Moon has been dominating out here. He's been seeing you, and I have to admit, everywhere I go, people are talking about Luna, and I'm like, all right, I have issue 1. I need to go and get issue 2. I'm not gonna lie, I need to go get issue 2, and it's a great story, and it's a great
Thank
starting
you.
period for. This was your first book, right? This I don't remember seeing anything before Luna, so this
Yeah.
is a great start off for a first time writer.
Thanks.
What were some of your inspirations when creating this series?
So Luna actually has been in my dreams for years.
Oh,
I've dreamt about Luna for many, many years. She didn't have a face, she didn't have a name, but she was always there in my dreams. When I was sad, when I needed help.
hmm.
And I remember this one dream in particular. I will never forget it. It's I was in this spaceship, and for some reason we had to go to the sun. I'm not quite sure why we had to go to the sun, but we had to go to the sun, and Luna helped us get there. So and it just in some of the images you see, especially in issue 2, are some of the things I saw in my dream. So I feel like I'm not quite sure I'm not quite sure where she came from. But she came, my subconscious dreamt about her. But now that I'm telling her story, I don't dream about her anymore. So it's just really interesting, and really, I feel a very spiritual journey for me. Um,
Danny, what are you trying to share, dude?
Hmm?
What are you trying
Oh,
to share?
I thought I was showing it. I was just showing the first issue off. I was just showing a little bit of the first issue for the
Okay,
to get a
no.
little teaser. I
If you
forgot.
wanted me to do that, I will share it. I like I said, I had it up. I
Okay.
have it here.
I was just trying to help out Kyron. Dang, man.
No, man.
Every time I try to take a little responsibility, you just slap me back down every time.
But you know
Like
you
try
can't control stuff over there. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true. Very true.
all right.
No, man, I love it. I think it's a great story. Like I said, I this is a story that I'm going to be following. I know six issues is a big is a big thing for anybody. But your team over there at Concrete Comics, they've proven that they can put out quality work and do it consistently. So yeah, that's right. Like Rose said, your dream is on the page now. So um
Thank you.
we love it. We
I'm
love it.
loving the comments. Thank you so much, everyone.
We have
Absolutely.
a pretty good crowd usually that follows us and supports our creators. So that's I'm glad that you can see all that. When you're creating this book, did you have the vision of the art style in mind already? Because it's a very unique style. It has a little bit of an anime manga vibe to it also. Like, was that what you were shooting for when you originally started this book?
No, I didn't know what I want, what I needed, what I wanted. I knew
Mm.
nothing really about how to put a comic book together. Um, and actually, it was before I joined Concrete Comics. I actually completed this book. Um, and so I actually went. I was on Fiverr, and that's how I found Ian. And he said, I just asked him. I said, "Hey, could you send me a sketch or a pinup?" I didn't even know what a pinup was. I was like, "Can you send me like a picture of a character? I'll give you what she looks like. Can you just draw her?" And some of the earlier versions of Luna, I fell in love with. So I hired him. I said, "Hey, can you do some? Can you help me create this comic book?" And I didn't really know. I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw the first thing he made was the first page he created was the page where they were in the bar, and he has a back kind of looking, back. That was the first page he created. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And Ian has this ability to tell a story
Mm.
um even through the words. And I don't know really how else to explain it. He's a storyteller. So a lot of the the way the characters are positioned and the backgrounds and the costumes, he created all of that. And he puts his soul into every single page. And he is Asian, so sometimes you see a little bit of that anime vibe. I think that's why.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's great too. I think how can I say this politically? I think it's great
Well,
when you can find the right artist for your project. A lot of creators, struggle with finding the right person to work with for their style, and it's I think that it's a talent that when you see, um, you see it and you know it. You know what I'm saying? If you see it and you believe in the artist and you know that they can do it, even if they might not believe he can do it, because I actually worked with an artist who, I needed him to draw some horses, and he was telling me that he couldn't do it. He was like, man, I don't know if I can draw horses, and I
I
was like,
still can't draw horses,
I
damn it.
believe in you. I was like, I believe in you. I believe you can draw a good horse, and hey, it's a talent. It's a talent when you just recognize other talent and put it together. So,
Still
um,
can't draw horses.
nah, you're good, man. You're
All right,
good,
cool.
Kyler. But yeah, we're loving Luna, and
Thank you.
I think it's great, man. I think it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. Like I said, you got a great team over there. And how did you get involved with Concrete?
You see the cover of Luna of issue 1, that cover, that
Hmm.
iconic cover.
Hmm.
So I just posted that as a pinup on Instagram one day.
This one?
And yep, yep. So it was, it didn't have the logo yet. I didn't have a logo yet. The concrete logo wasn't on there. It was just her.
Hmm.
And Anaji DM'd
Mm.
me. He's like, hey, can you tell me about your character? And that's kind of how it led to a meeting with, at the time, Daniel, who was the editor at the time, and then a meeting with Lonzo. And then that's how I signed. And but by that time, the book had been finished, and I signed with Concrete Comics. And Lonzo taught me a whole lot
Mhm.
about how to put a comic book together, how to, even just, which pages should be, which pages should be to the left, to the right, just a lot of stuff. And he kind of polished up the writing. And then the second book, I had Montrez, who's the co-editor, and I had my own editor, and he helped me develop the story. But Montrez and Lonzo, put their final touches on it and taught me a lot about how to tell a story when it comes to comics, because I feel like I feel like I do tell great stories, but depending on the format, you have to know when to kind of pull back. You have to know when to speed up. And so they've really been helping me kind of learn how to pace out my story. So it does take a team. It really does.
Mhm.
It takes a team. You cannot do it by yourself. And any creator who thinks they can do it by themselves are probably not selling their books. So
Unless your name is officially, then maybe you'll be all right. But everybody else, I would recommend to get a team for sure. We got to get the quick takes, but I want to ask you one more question, and it kind of goes with Kai Scott's question. So, I was thinking, healthcare marketing is such a broad kind of thing. Everybody needs healthcare eventually, right? So healthcare marketing is such a kind of a broad thing, whereas comic book marketing is really niche. So Key Scott asked, what are you doing for marketing? Issue 3 is coming out soon. What did you do for the first 2 issues to find your audience? And that made me think, because comics are so niche. Is there a big difference between marketing to everybody who needs healthcare, and then just the people who like comics?
all right, so I'm about to give y'all lesson 1 in my course.
Uh-oh.
Oh, uh-oh.
So listen up. So the way you find your audience is you have to decide what your 3 words will be. So Danny's 3 words is funny, informative, and Danny, you probably, what's your third word?
Purple.
I knew I was going to say purple. I just knew it. Damn it.
So funny, informative, and purple, right?
Mhm.
So you have to decide what your 3 words are. And for me, it's empowering, creative, and informative. That is what I want people to see me as. So, and I feel like I'm getting there. There's still so much more I need to do. I feel to be a voice in this space, but I feel like I'm getting there. So you need to choose your 3 words and that is the type of content you create. So Danny, he's funny. So he said, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story today. Right. It has nothing that your brand words have nothing to do with your comic book yet.
Mhm.
But that is so what your 3 words are, that is the type of content you're going to create. And then that is how you find your people. Because your 3 words is really a reflection of who you really are, right? So that is how you find your people. And your people are made up of different groups. It's not just your comic book group. It's not just the people that's going to buy your comics. It might be your peers. It might be some fellow podcast creators. It might be the people who love your comic book. It might be people who write novels. It might be producers. So your people is comprised of different groups and subsets and subcultures. So when you think about it like that, that's how you find your people. And your people will support you in one way or another. Some will buy your book. Some will reshare your book. Some will invite you to their podcast. Some will recommend you to some higher level people in mainstream media. Some companies may reach out to you to promote their work. So, like I have, I'm actually going to dive into a book I just received from Smart Pop Books, and they did a book about one of my favorite heroines of Marvel. So it's a Marvel book, and they partnered up with this particular publisher. So that company reached out to me because they know that the type of content I create aligns with this heroine that I can't really say yet, but you'll see it soon. So
You can
Yeah,
say
you
it.
can drop it. We're
You
team
can
spoiler
say it.
here.
Yeah. This is where we come
Oh,
to do things like that.
so let me tell. I'll tell y'all. So it's a new book coming out about Captain Marvel, and I haven't read it yet, but it's giving me like I really want to see her and Monica and what's the little girl's
Miss
name?
Marvel.
Miss
Ms.
Marvel.
Marvel. I really want to see them in their own series, like their own Disney
Mm.
Plus series. So that's where I'm going to kind of lean into it. So that's a spoiler. That's So I'm
I
going to do
was
like
just
my
watching it. I
official
was just
review.
watching the Marvels. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to
dope.
do my official review. But you need to find what your brand words are, and then and you create content around those words, and those are your people, and stop telling yourself that your audience is people who are going to buy your comic book. That's not true. There's some of your audience, but your audience is your people in your community, and your community is what's going to help you excel. Become this voice in indie. So because some of the people in my audience has never read Luna and not interested in Luna, but they support me in other ways, right? So that is my biggest advice, and also being willing to just show up. Show up. You have to show up. You can't expect to fund a Kickstarter and you have not been seen in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show up in one way or another. So,
Absolutely.
but that's the first lesson in my podcast. I mean,
All
in
right.
the course. So
All right. Kyron is. I know he's the analytics guy. I know I'm right at the edge of my time, but we got to do quick takes. I got another big question to ask you, but we got to get out of here. So, all right, quick takes. Are you ready, Kyron? I'm ready when you are.
All right.
I feel like we're 150 episodes in. I should get a new picture. I just feel like that.
I mean, you want to provide me.
Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations on 150 episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to
All right.
provide me a new picture, I'll gladly.
I will for sure.
All
right.
Hold on,
So
I can't find the timer. I don't know why I
No.
can't find it. Will you?
it should be in the.
It's not there.
We'll wing it. It'll be all right. All right. So quick takes. If you haven't seen the show before, quick takes is a rapid Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. You'll have 45 seconds to answer 5 questions each off the top of your head. And here we go with the first one. So, question number 1. Speaking of your course, brand awareness, brand trust, and brand customer. I was watching one of your videos and you brought up those 3 phrases. In 45 seconds, can you tell us what that means?
Yes, those are the 3 B's of your sales funnel. The only sales funnel you'll ever need to know is brand awareness, brand trust, and brand customer. Brand awareness is the top of your funnel. So these are the things that you're going to do to bring awareness to your brand. And remember, your brand is you. Brand trust is the middle of your funnel. So as people are flowing into your funnel, you are going to have them. You're going to do things so that they can begin to trust you. And so they're flowing down your tunnel, down your funnel. And then brand customer is the bottom of the funnel where they reach your checkout card. So I think I
There
did
we
it.
go. I didn't know if she was going. I know because the video was like it's like the first 5 minutes of it. So I was like, I don't know if she's gonna be able to do it in 45 seconds, but you did a good job. Did a great job. All right. Question number 2. Dr. Sheena Howard. I heard you talking about a course that you took for her. Can you and I love Dr. Sheena Howard. Me and I see Morgan Iverson is in the comments too. We follow her and they're inspired by her work. So can you tell us what she means to you and one big tip that you learned from her?
Oh, Dr. Sheena Howard is very kind, very patient, and she has a wealth of knowledge that she is ready to share with anyone who, for free. You know, she drops a lot of knowledge on Instagram for free. But the course that I took from her was more of it was like 3 of us, and we connected every other week for 60 days. And the biggest thing I learned from her is to show up and test different types of content and have conversations with people every single day on social.
Okay.
I love it. Okay. Question number 3. Say you, Moon the Storyteller, are transported to the year 10,000 in the future. Okay. In 45 seconds, tell us what is the first thing that Moon the Storyteller is doing in the year 10,000.
Oh, wow. I'm going to probably find a home to live in. Find, where the nearest restaurant is so I can enjoy the food. Because I'm being transported to the future, right?
Yep.
You said?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I wanna find a really nice home. I wanna find some really great food, and find someone to share it with. If my husband hasn't been for some reason my husband's not with me, find somebody to share it with. Yeah.
Your husband and your kid are there with you for sure.
Good. Okay. Good. Then that the first 2. Just the first.
Danny here trying to separate families.
No, it's not
Right.
I'm not trying to break up a happy home. No. Morgan, Luna is in the year 10,000, so that's why. If you were here earlier, you would have
on
heard
time,
that.
Morgan.
If you would have been on time, Morgan Iverson, you would have known why I said year 10,000, because that's when Luna is in the year 10,000. Okay, so question number four. I know, we are all, indie creators. Like I said, there's a lot of indie creators in the comments. Morgan Iverson is here. Fish Lee is here. Ro Lamb, Michael Watson was here.
HWP.
HWP is in there. But we all have ideas for mainstream comics. I think a lot of us have had dreams of mainstream. So, in your opinion, what are the pros and cons with indie versus mainstream? So give me a pro and a con for indie and a pro and con for mainstream.
A pro in indie is that you have full creative control. You create these characters, you can control their narrative. A con is like, it takes us money. It takes a lot of money, not a lot, but it takes some time and effort and money to get seen, right? Because you don't have a huge engine behind you. When it comes to mainstream, one of the pros is you have support. You have somebody's paying for your stuff, and you can just create. One of the cons is you don't have full creative control. Usually have an editor telling you this and that, and so that's what I.
There's a lot of limitations, on in the mainstream for sure. I even know some of the writers and artists that are in the mainstream artists. That's one of their complaints is that they don't own anything, and that they, it's really kind of work for hire. And that's good. You definitely got to pay the bills. But I think as artists and creators, a lot of times we want to make things that we are passionate about. So, all right. So question number 5. Now I always have our guests do a top 5 list, because I have another show called Top 5 Live with Morgan Iverson, Javon Stokes, and sometimes Kyron. And also Justin.
I got replaced by Justin, dude. Don't even say sometimes Kyron no more. I got replaced.
And by Justin Thornton. So
I didn't get my 2 weeks survey notice from Elon. Nothing, dude. Just got replaced. I was like, damn.
Nothing. You didn't get nothing. So I like to have our guests do a top 5 list off the top of their head. And I had a great idea for you. So you wake up one day and the big 3 social media platforms are gone. There is no YouTube, there's no Facebook, there's no Instagram. Okay. I want to know your top, if you had to start from scratch, give me your top 5 social media platforms that you would use, not including the big 3.
Oh, yeah. LinkedIn.
Okay.
I would say TikTok.
The detest towards TikTok is crazy.
Yeah, I would say TikTok. I'll probably pop over to Blue Sky. I haven't gotten a Blue Sky account, but I'll probably pop over there. YouTube, of course. Did you say YouTube?
No YouTube.
No YouTube.
No YouTube. Oh, I don't know what's left.
You got
Threads.
Spotify. Is Spotify Threads? Oh yeah, Threads. I would do Threads.
One more.
Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I like it. Okay. I appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
This week, Quick Takes is brought to you by what is it brought to us by? Right, Gemini Comics Supply. If you order on Gemini Comics Supply and use the promo code AceBlade or Foretell soon, you will get 10% off of your order. Thank you so much. I got one more question that I have to ask you, even though we don't have time. I have 5 days left on my Kickstarter. What can I do?
Oh, he just dropped out. What the? And that just seemed like that was a good question he was going to ask too. Oh wait, he's back.
You know what? I don't like you, Kyron. Kyron will not let me be great on this show. He will not let me be great. Kyron is telling me we don't have time. I'm gonna ask.
What's your question? Answer your question.
No, I'm gonna ask off. Offline.
We want the audience to know these things.
Okay, if you got time, I got 5 days left. What can I?
God.
That's okay.
Are you okay?
That's why I quit top 5 last week, because they was playing with me. Y'all don't want to give me no power. Y'all don't give me no power and control. That's
All
okay.
right,
That's
all
why.
right, all right. I won't touch it no more. I won't touch it.
It's up. It's up. I'm gonna get with you
What
offline.
can he do to help his
Moon.
Kickstarter?
I don't even. We're not even gonna give it to the audience. We're not gonna give it to the audience. I'm gonna get it offline. I appreciate it.
No, we're not ending the show until you ask this question.
Well, it was nice talking to you, Moon.
What is the question?
Nah, Kyrie, you're not gonna get me a third time, man. I refuse. I refuse. You're not getting me a third time.
What is the
It was
question?
nice talking to you. Sayonara. Thank you for coming. Where can we find you online?
Thank you, Ben. Ask the question, please. Can we just get it done? Hurry. Come on.
Kyrie's not gonna keep humiliating me on the podcast. I'm not letting it happen.
I promise
know.
on my kids' lives, I will not do it.
Okay, on the kids. Okay. What can I do in the last 5 days to maximize my Kickstarter?
What have you done so far?
Funny videos. I've done. I gave my old logo a funeral. Kyron helped me with that. We announced the stretch goals. Everything except for like stop motion. I had an idea for a stop motion, but I just didn't get time to do it. So,
have you done any videos introducing us to the characters?
No, I don't think. Okay. I don't think I have.
All right. So, sometimes, for some people the synopsis is enough, but for some people they want to they may have seen or read that type of synopsis before. So maybe connecting them to the characters, like doing a character breakdown. Also, have you talked about the tiers? Because I know you said you talked about the stretch goals, but have you actually talked about the tiers? Like, have you done a video like, oh, I want to show you the tiers and what you can get, and make it like really exciting. This is my $50 tier, and you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, you're gonna get blah blah blah. Make it really exciting. Also going live. Go live the next 5 days, with I don't know if you have the Kickstarter with other people, but go live the next 5 days, and then sending personal messages to people. So I just got a personal message from another creator about his Kickstarter. Send personal messages to everyone, because some people as much as you are probably promoting, there's people that still haven't seen it.
That's true.
And I remember after my first Kickstarter, my friend told me, she was like, I cannot believe you didn't, text me and tell me you had a campaign. And I was like, I thought you saw it on Instagram. She's like, I know I didn't see it. The algorithm doesn't show me anything. So those are the 4 things I would do. That should give you some content and hopefully give you, push you. Did you do your funding goal? You met your funding goal?
We did this week, yes.
Good. So hopefully, hopefully that will give you some ideas and bring in new audiences, bring in new customers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Before we go, we want to tell people where they can follow you, where they can follow.
Taking my job now?
Yeah, I'm taking your job now. We want to tell people where to follow you, where they can go to keep up with you, with Luna, and everything that you do. So give everybody your social media.
Moon the Storyteller. And somebody said that's the widest nose I've ever seen on a woman.
We just ignore those people.
We're trying to block people like that. These people.
Yeah.
That's why we got rid of Kick. People.
I love my nose. I love my nose. I refuse to even when the makeup artist, she tries to contour, give contour. I love my nose. So I always, if that's what people see, then that means I'm doing something right, because my nose, it means I'm a beautiful Black woman. And, my forehead, my big forehead as well, so. Yeah. And the fact that the person even like took the time to comment, that tell that they want to be a part of the conversation,
That's right. That's right.
You can find me on Instagram at Moon the Storyteller. And then if you follow me on Instagram, then in my link in bio, there's like a link tree with all my links.
Okay.
Awesome. Kyron, where can people find you?
I hate you so much right now. God. You can find me at TaurusComics.com. I am on all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. Danny, where can people find you?
If you want to find me, I'm on Kickstarter for the next 5 days. So definitely check out the Kickstarter. But you can find us at fourthwallpros.com if you want to get any Ace Blade, Kings of Prima Lumberjacks comics, and on social media at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, stay vigilant, my friends.
Oh, see,
We're outta
this
here.
is why you don't do the outro.
Nah, bro.
You messed up the entire outro on that. This is why I don't let you do the outro.
This is your first time watching Four Tales podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. And what else do you say? I don't know.
Go to fourtalespodcast.com. That is number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can listen to our previous episodes. You can buy us some merchandise, support us that way. Like Danny said, this is the first time you've checked out our podcast. Please support us. But join us next week where we're going to have Rolam on the show.
Rolam,
same time as normal, talking about Scarlet Ranger issue 3. Am I right?
That's right.
Issue 3. Yeah, so this is why I will never let you do an outro again. But until next time, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Bye, y'all.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.